The Trump-backed Arizona gubernatorial candidate, Kari Lake, was appalled, just absolutely outraged that someone over at Fox News would ask her a difficult question. Now, as a Republican who's going on a Republican-friendly network like Fox, she would expect to be given a round of applause, a bunch of fluff and softball questions. But shockingly, she was asked about Richard Stevens, who's a popular drag queen from Phoenix who claimed that Lake had been a close friend of his, that Lake would go to his performances regularly, and that Lake even invited him to perform at an event at her home with her children present. Let's keep that in mind, with her children who were in elementary school at the time present. Important part of the story. Now, when she was asked about it, she didn't like it. So why don't we take a quick look at her exchange with Bret Baier.
The Washington Post has a story today. It says Arizona GOP candidate who criticized drag queens was once a fan, according to a drag queen. This is the quote: Arizona GOP gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake, who has attacked drag queens as dangerous to children, attended the shows of drag queen Richard Stevens for more than 20 years and once hired him to perform at her home. Do you care to address that?
I do care. I actually do care to address that, and I'm really shocked. I'm actually appalled that Fox News would take a defamatory story like that, and we are pursuing legal action against this drag queen. I'm appalled that you would bring that up.
Which drag queen is she appalled by? She's appalled by being asked questions about this drag queen, the one that she's posing in a picture with right here. Again, Richard Stevens is his name. The one that she invited to her home to perform at an event with her children present. That drag queen, is that what she's talking about? She's gonna sue him. Good luck with that. Looking forward to that defamation lawsuit and to see where it goes. I'm guessing in the trash if it ever gets filed in the first place. But putting that aside, why are you shocked that anyone would ask you about these allegations when really the entirety of your gubernatorial campaign centers on hating trans people? I mean, this is what Republicans do. Republicans don't have anything to offer you. By the way, Democrats have their own flavor of this, so they're not innocent, okay? But Republicans lean in heavy on the culture war narratives because that's all they've got. Watch Ben Shapiro's show, it's all he talks about. Culture war, be afraid of the gays, be afraid of the trans people, be afraid of abortion, be afraid of this, be afraid of that. Various groups of people, culture. That's it, that's all they talk about. Because what is the other alternative? Would they talk about reforming economic policies that are increasingly, causing more and more poverty among the working class in this country? Is that what they would talk about? Reforming the economic policies that their corporate donors are paying them to maintain, that their corporate donors love and don't want to change. Is that what they would campaign on? People of Arizona, please elect me because I would do favors for my corporate donors and I will continue protecting this economic landscape that puts you at a significant disadvantage. Is that what she would campaign on? Is that what Kari Lake would campaign? No, she's campaigning on, look at me, I hate trans people, even though I'm used to be good friends with one and invited one over to my home to perform with my children present. Why are you shocked that anyone would ask you this question? You made your bed. You made your bed. This is what you want your issue to be. So let's talk about the issue. Let's, in fact, go to the next video.
When you have not talked about our stolen election, you failed to talk about that.
We just spent 3 questions, Ms. Lake, talking about this. I just asked you a number of questions about it. I played the Arizona House Speaker.
This is the first of it.
Let's address this story that's in the Washington Post. Every candidate takes tough stories. I'm asking you to respond to it if you'd like to.
I'm happy to address it, but I'm really disappointed in Fox. I thought you were a little better than CNN.
But these pictures of you with him, Richard Stevens.
Brett,
and what about the Post? I've performed for Kari's birthday. I've performed in her home.
That's not true.
I've performed for her at some of the seediest bars in Phoenix. I don't want to ask these questions. I asked you to address them.
I think you do want to ask them, but you don't want to ask about 2,000 mules.
Oh, okay, so that's her other campaigning topic. The other big issue, helping Trump overturn the election, spreading conspiracies about the election. That's all she's got. I mean, these people are clowns. And what I would just suggest to Republican voters, listen, I get it. Politics has long devolved into this ridiculous tit for tat tribal garbage where you're willing to do anything and everything to support your side, even while they're punching you in the face. But I would just ask everyone, including Democratic voters, to take a step back for a second and look at these campaigns and really ask yourself, how is this hatred toward another group of people gonna make my life better? How does this help me put food on the table for my family? How does this help me pay my rent, my mortgage? What does this do to enrich my life and my family's lives? And I will guarantee you that with the vast majority of candidates, the answer is nothing. And maybe it feels good for right-wing voters, right? To hear some woman who looks like, she was a soap opera reject, talking about how much she hates trans people, great. But turns out she doesn't really hate trans people. She's just using this, exploiting fear about people who are already incredibly misunderstood, people who have no power, people who have incredibly high suicide rates as a result of the kind of commentary and rhetoric you're hearing from her. She's just exploiting them for power. That's it. Not for you, power for her. She couldn't care less what happens to the people of Arizona. Soap opera career failed. She needs another gig. By the way, I'm kidding about the soap opera thing, but doesn't she look like she's a soap opera actress? Like, let's keep it real. If you're going to make the culture war your front and center issue, then yeah, you should be asked about it. The only thing that's shocking is that she was asked about it on Fox, and maybe that's why she's so outraged. But you should be prepared to defend yourself if, again, this is your main topic. And you have been accused by a famous drag queen of being a good friend of his, who has also invited him to your home. Now, one other thing I want to note is, look, fact of the matter is, this is an issue that we see among most Republican politicians. In fact, on a state level, you have Republican politicians proposing legislation that would ban trans athletes from participating in school sports with the gender they identify with. And I thought this was a great headline because it's absolutely accurate. Lawmakers can't cite local examples of trans girls in sports. Interesting, let's dig a little deeper. Legislators in more than 20 states have introduced bills this year, this is from 2021 by the way, that would ban transgender girls from competing on girls' sports teams in public high schools. Yet in most every case, sponsors cannot cite a single instance in their own state or region where such participation has caused problems. Wow, are you surprised by that? Because I'm not. It almost seems like they want to give the illusion of governing, of legislating, when in reality, they're collecting checks. They're chilling, they don't care about you. More, in South Carolina, for example, Representative Ashley Trantham said she knew of no transgender athletes competing in the state and was proposing a ban to prevent possible problems in the future. Oh my God, look at them, they're taking initiative. That's what politicians are known for, right? They act before there's a problem, except that's not true. Let me give you more. And by the way, let me be clear, I don't see this as a problem, okay? I see what they're doing in exploiting this issue or turning it into turning a non-issue into an issue for politics, for power accumulation. This is what they do, but there's more. Otherwise, she said during a recent hearing, the next generation of female athletes in South Carolina may not have a chance to excel. I got news for you, bitch. Most kids at this point don't really have a chance to excel. How are you gonna excel when you have to dig yourself into hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt in order to get a decent college education, which is required to get a decent job? You wanna talk about people excelling? These are politicians who stand in the way of people excelling every single day. Let's go to Tennessee. House Speaker Cameron Sexton. Oh, we should ban that last name. It has sex in it. It seems very bad. conceded there may not be transgender students now participating in middle and high school sports. He said a bill was necessary so the state could be proactive. Sexton wants to be proactive. I mean, there are issues that are, really impacting the people of his state as we speak, issues related to their economic anxiety, but who cares about that? He doesn't want to be proactive about that. No, that'd be a waste, and it would probably upset his donors. So instead, let's go after the powerless, let's demonize them, let's turn them into scapegoats, and continue to stay in power because people let it happen, voters let it happen. Wake up, guys. I don't understand the hatred people have in their hearts for groups of people who are powerless in the first place. But even if you do, how does it make your life better to support politicians who give you nothing, offer you nothing other than more hatred, more division, more destruction in this country? And Kari Lake crying about being asked about the #1 issue she talks about on the campaign trail is rich. If you can't take the heat, get the hell out of the campaign.